Today we have with us an international artist full of energy, Teo Bok. Born in Italy, raised across different cultures and now leading Come Musica, the power of music in education, a project that brings music and cultural value directly into schools. Teo, welcome to Crave Italy.
Oh, what a pleasure to be here. I'm so happy to represent Italy in San Francisco. That's quite...
In San Francisco, not only in San Francisco,
in
California, and I'm a bridge between the two countries.
Oh my gosh,
Of course, I'm focusing in California the most.
Of course. But I mean, it's a worldwide. It's representing Italy all around the world. That's a
and it's an honor to have you here.
The honor is all mine. Thank you for having me.
So you were born in Italy, but grew up between different cultures.
Yes.
How has this international background influenced your music?
Oh my gosh. The international background is literally who I am, not just as an artist, but as a human being. And I feel like everything that I do, I always try to be conscious of who I am, also with the culture, because I feel like for so many years, people have told me that I had to be a certain way, or I had to smile a certain way, or I had to talk a certain way, or only one language. And you know, when you have so many people telling you who you have to be and how you have to be and how you have to talk and be, you know, you kind of lose yourself a little bit. And so I feel like embracing my internationality and being born in Italy and having a German father, but at the same time speaking 5 languages and, you know, trying to represent who I am around the world is what makes me honest and vulnerable and real. And the music that I do, I mean, I'm a musician that loves all kinds of music. And so I always try to get inspired, not just from one style of music, from one place, but I try to listen to everything and make what represents me. And I feel like that's the most honest that I can be.
It's beautiful. I have a little surprise for you.
Oh my.
Let's take a look at a little video.
Oh, I love that video. I love that video because it shows exactly my growth, my many years of doing what I do. I mean, I'm 22 years old, but I started when I was 9. And I love how, not just the videos, but like also when I sing certain songs, they bring you back in time to certain moments. And when I sang, you know, when I went in the Lion King or The Voice Kids or Italy's Got Talent. And it's been 12 years now.
I was watching your social media, by the way. You say, I'm 22 years old, but I have 12 years experience. I was like, how old?
Yeah,
you were
I know.
A baby.
It is funny. It is funny because, you know, it seems like a joke sometimes, but it has been quite a while. You know, I was 9 years old when I got my first contract of work, which was in the musical The Lion King, and ever since I never really stopped. And it's been a joy because I feel like it's been a school that has lasted 12 years that has brought me to where I am right now.
Let me take you back at when you were 12 years old.
Okay.
You were a finalist of the Voice Kids Germany.
Yes.
Looking back, what are your strongest memory from the experience?
You know, I feel like that moment was such a life-changing moment because, you know, when you're a kid, you don't really know exactly what you want to do. And I feel like that's the whole point. You're a kid, you're figuring it out. But when I was 9 years old and I did musicals, in musicals you gotta sing, you gotta dance, you gotta act, and I did not know exactly which one I wanted to really do, if it was singing or dancing or acting. Right. And in The Voice Kids, I really understood that what I loved most was being on stage and singing. And I feel like that was the most real that I had ever been. That was the most Teo that Teo had ever been. And I realized that I never wanted to live my life without feeling that way again. And that was so life-changing because I started touring after that. And it's been, 10 years now of nonstop touring.
Oh, this is amazing.
So I feel like that was my favorite memory, just finding myself, finding what I love the most.
That's what all about life.
Yeah.
You're so inspiring. And what happened at age 14? You also released an album.
Oh, yes.
And then, can you tell me a little bit more
Of
about your other?
course. I started releasing music when I was 13. I released my first album. Actually, I was 15. I was 15 because it's been a whole journey. I was in Germany and I was singing in English. Then I went to Italy and then I traveled all around Europe opening for a TV show that was Spanish. So I started speaking also in Spanish and singing in Spanish. And then at 15, I released my first album and my first book. And so it's been, it was definitely a big year because one of my first songs, which was El Ritmo, it became a little popular in Italy. It had around 6 million views, and I started touring, and I started going to radio shows, and it was really, I feel like, the first moment where I actually felt like people were singing my music and really engaging with who I was as an artist. And probably one of the happiest moments of my life, but at the same time, I feel like in that moment, I probably scratched a little bit the surface of what you would call fame, which I don't love saying that word because I don't know. It's not my favorite word ever. But at the same time, I feel like then after that, when I moved to Miami, and then when COVID happened and everything like that, I lived off of those memories because they made me so happy. And you know, when during COVID, I did not have the chance to be on stage, so I was like looking back at when I was 15 and touring and doing all those dreamy things, and now it's pretty cool because I mean it's been 12. I mean it's been 6 years since that moment, and now I get to do it all over again.
And what inspired you to share your story at such a young age?
I feel like it was always more of an instinct. I never really felt like I had. I mean, it always came so naturally. It always came so naturally because it was really the only thing that made me truly happy. Because when I was a kid, I mean, I was always a happy kid, but when I started singing, I started receiving a lot of hate as well. I started getting bullied a lot. People at school started making fun of me, you know, stealing my food, creating group chats against me. And it came from people that I thought were my friends. And so you're like, you know, you're a kid and you don't understand why people treat you in a certain way. And so I really started writing music because he was the only friend that I had at the time where I could feel safe and where I could feel like myself. And I always felt like I felt safe in a space of writing, and when I started releasing music, I realized that other people felt safe in the way that I wrote as well, and the way that I spoke as well, and the way that I talked to them, and the way they told me things. And at first, you know, I was a kid, so I did not really expect much of many things because, you know, you are a kid. But then people started coming to me and telling me, "Hey, Teo, like this song literally saved my life. Oh, like in this moment where I was super, super sad, you helped me out a lot." Or the song where you talk about your father, you know, my parents are not together and I feel like I connect a lot and I feel less lonely. And I feel like that's the whole point why I do what I do, and especially now with the tour that we started here in San Francisco and many other places that we're going to take the music. My objective is just to make these young people, young kids, make them feel less lonely in their moments of life. Because, you know, sometimes when you're a teenager, when you're growing up, it does get a little bit lonely. And I hope that I can be a friend to them, the friend that I needed maybe when I was their age and I did not have one.
So, Teo, you have said, with my music and my words, I want young people to feel less alone. Beautiful. Can you share a moment when you saw music truly had that power?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. The moment that I truly realized the power that music had, I think I was 15. Every year when I was 15, when I started 14, I started doing these camps, these summer camps with my biggest fans. And I used to go around Italy and bring them to, you know, my favorite places like the mountains or the sea where my grandma lived or something like that. And it was something, of course, very intimate for the most crazy fans, the most engaging one, which was such a beautiful experience because we got the experience to just be together in not just like as an idol and fan experience, but an actual, you know, talking and having experiences and walking around and doing sports and dancing and singing and everything. And there was this one girl once, I remember she was a little bit shy, and that happens, you know, when fans start meeting their idol. It's weird saying that about me, but when they do, like they sometimes are a little bit shy. They are a little bit more far away. And this girl, the first few days she wouldn't speak, And then like the third day she started, approaching me and said a couple words. And I could tell that she was just being very shy. And by the end of the week, she was much more open. And I was like, oh, that's wonderful. I love that they can start opening up to me in a certain way that they didn't before. And to me, that's the most important thing, to make them feel comfortable. And, after a week, the parents, they come and get their children. And there was this mom that came to me crying and hugging me. And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? And she told me my daughter hadn't spoke to me in 7 years. And she had a big trauma when she was a child. And thanks to you, she started speaking again. And she told me, ciao, mama. And in that moment, it was, what? Like, what is going on? Like, I am just a kid that is singing. And this happened. And it has happened multiple times, actually, in my life, that a trauma like this ended up becoming like, saved by the music. And I really don't believe that it's me that made these things, but I'm just a person that music comes through, and it feels wonderful because it feels real. And as I said, I never really searched for this. It kind of always just happened in my life, and it feels nice.
Will you treat us to a live performance here at Crave Italy?
I would absolutely love it. I crave Italy, and I crave to sing a song for Italy. And that's why I have my little guitar right here.
I love it.
She's my best friend. It's a very special song. I wrote this song because when I was, for me, music has always been an expression of moments of my life. It's always been a release, a moment for me to write about stories. And there was this one moment that was very, very impactful for me, which was, I was in school. I was 14 years old. And there was this young couple of the popular kids in school. It was very toxic. I knew that everybody was wondering why they were still together. And one day, they were fighting in front of my math class, and I decided not to get into my math class and just to observe them from afar. And I hear the girl screaming, and the guy is holding her by the neck while she was crying. And I ended up approaching that moment, and it was the first moment that I really saw how unfairly some women were treated in the world by men. And I was raised by an amazing, strong, beautiful mom and a beautiful sister that I like to believe that they taught me better on how to treat women. And this song came out, and it's called Mostro, which means monster.
And beautiful also, Teo, this month also is a domestic violence awareness month.
Oh, wow. I actually did not know that. Yeah. And then this is absolutely perfect for that. Yeah. So it goes something like this. Intervallo sulle scale, in un altro lunedì, freddo fuori e pieno inverno, tutti passano qui, a fumare nei bagni, a cercare qualcosa che li svegli, ma io cerco soltanto te, qualche sguardo da lontano, però mai più di così. E tu mano nella mano, sempre con quello lì. E non mi sembra strano se ti vedo ogni giorno un po' più triste, anche se fai finta di ridere con lui. E non riesco a pensare a nient'altro che a te, e a quanto fa male non sapere perché sei finita con quel mostro. Ma stavolta non riesco a fare finta di niente, se ogni giorno che passa è un altro giorno che mente. Io non voglio aspettare per sempre. Corridoio al primo piano, ti ho sentita fino a qui, con la mano intorno al collo, ti teneva così. Ho rimediato anche un pugno, io che non farei male ad una mosca. Non potevo stare a guardare, e non riesco a pensare a nient'altro che a te, e a quanto fa male non sapere perché sei finita con quel mostro. Ma stavolta non riesco a fare finta di niente, se ogni giorno che passa è un altro giorno che mente. Io non voglio aspettare per sempre.
Amazing.
Thank you.
It's like you really sing from the heart.
Oh yeah,
It's like
and that's the whole point. That's the whole point about music. It all comes from the heart, and I feel like that's why this is such a special moment in my life, because after 12 years of finding myself and finding myself through my journey and through life itself, I've never felt so honest and vulnerable as I am right now. And it is a big deal to me, because when I'm on stage, that's everything that I want. I want to be honest. I want for the people to feel what I really want to tell them. And if I'm not connected to myself as an artist and as a human, then I'm never going to be truly honest. Instead, right now, it took me 12 years, but right now I'm about to release music that is probably comes from the deepest parts of my heart, and that feels really good.
I know your new album is coming up.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about?
Of course. I mean, as I quickly mentioned, this is the most special project I've ever had in my life. It took me 12 years to get to where I am. And it makes sense because, I was a kid and I was figuring myself out as a kid more than just an artist. But in the past 2 years, I took a little bit of a step back from releasing music because I felt like I needed to find that honest part of my heart to truly say something that was real. And last year, something very, very impactful happened in my life. My mom and my dad, they separated when I was 1 year old. And my dad has never been present in my life. He has never done anything for me. He has never helped my mom economically in any way. And he has never really gifted me anything. But on my 21st birthday, which was last year, something crazy happened. My mom, my dad, myself, and my sister, we were all in the same place at the same time. And for the first time in 21 years, my dad gifted me something. He comes there with a plastic bag. My dad is a big German guy. He's very rough. He's a farmer. And he gives me this plastic bag, and he tells me to open it. And inside, there is this leather jacket. But it's not just any leather jacket. It's the leather jacket that he wore the day that he met my mom back in 1995, when he went with his motorcycle from Germany to south of Italy, where he met my mom. And when he gave me that jacket for the first time in my life, I saw this big man that for the longest time I thought he had no feelings. He started crying. And it was a lot to handle, because I wear this jacket and I feel a little bit conflicted because, this man has never been there for me. But now I ride a motorcycle too. And this jacket literally protects me. And it's full of scratches from all the times that he has fallen from that motorcycle. And so a few days after, I went back to Miami, to my house. And I wrote the song, which is called Black Leather. In Italian, it's called Cuoio Nero, and it's going to be released actually in Spanish, which is called Cuero Negro, which literally starts by saying, what am I supposed to tell you if you're 20 years too late? I've spent my whole life without you, and you never took a second to find me. And it is a very vulnerable song, and I am very excited to show this part of me to the world, because I feel like it's what I was always meant to be, and always what I was always meant to do.
And I'm sure a lot of people are going to feel like related to you.
Yeah, and as I said, we talked about it before. The objective is to make them feel less lonely.
Right. And also the importance of, be able to forgive somebody.
Of course.
That's very powerful, like your music, super powerful.
It is necessary. And I mean, my father, he's not a bad man. He's just not a good father. And I always say that the one thing that he has taught me is what kind of father I don't want to be for my future children. And at the same time, I don't live with regret, because my mom has been the best mom and dad that she could ever been. And I'm grateful for that.
Women can do anything.
Yeah. So women are a gift for real. And my mom is a gift for me. So I feel very grateful. I feel full. I feel like I have everything in my life. But then this happened, and I was like, yeah, I feel like I have to write about it.
Right. And I think just for you, just writing about that is already a healing.
Oh my gosh!
It's it's such a big, powerful way to to kind of let go sometimes. It's okay.
Let go. And it's funny because this man really, he hasn't changed since he has given me that jacket. Like, he still hasn't called me in over 6 months, and that's okay, because that's my father, and I'm never gonna be able to change him. But at the same time, like, I feel good. I feel happy that I have a song where I can just say what I feel like. And I feel like that's the whole point of music. To me, it's just an expression.
You made me cry now.
Oh, my love. You're amazing.
How did the idea for Come Musica, the power of music in education, came about?
Oh, it is. I feel like it's always been my calling, you know? As I said, music is not just music. Music is the most powerful thing in the world.
Yes.
And I always wanted it to be more than just about music in my life. And as I said, and I mentioned before, it always came very naturally to me, you know, speaking and connecting and being there and having conversations with my fans. And 2 years ago, I started this project in Spain, which was sponsored by the King and Queen of Spain, which brought me on tour for 9 months all over Spain in a project where I was, you know, bringing my music in schools and universities of Spain and helping kids with, you know, mental health and just sharing my story. But at the same time, it wasn't directly a project that was born from me. It was through other people and everything.
Right.
And I felt a little bit limited to what they wanted me to say or not, you know? And I realized that that was something that I wanted to do for myself too. And when I went back to Miami, it just felt right to do it through the most powerful music in the world, which is Italian music. And that's why I connected with the Istituto Italiano di Cultura of Miami. And I pitched the idea and they loved it. But I had no expectations because, you know, when I do things in life, I try and then they end up working pretty well sometimes. And I thought I was going to do like, you know, 5 schools around the Miami area. But, you know, the Italian Institute, then they called the San Francisco one and then the Los Angeles one and then the Dallas, the Houston, Chicago and everything. And now there's more than 40 dates in 40 schools and universities all around the United States where we're going to be bringing music with purpose through Italian music. And it is so beautiful because, I mean, we've been in San Francisco for the past 5 days now, and we did, I think, what was it, around 8, 9 schools. My gosh, the energy that these kids have when I share the story. And that's literally what I do. What I'm doing with you right now, I stand on stage, I tell stories of my life, of the music, I sing to them, and the way that they're, you know, some people know me, some people don't, and I can see in their faces that there is a switch when they realize that these songs touch them in the heart. And it is beautiful to see because every kid is different, you know, and it is a journey, even in the speech that I say.
Teo,
Please.
let's take a look.
Ciao, my name is Teo Bok. I'm a 22-year-old singer from Italy with over 12 years of career in the music industry and the world of entertainment. But music is much more than just entertainment. Music has the power to connect to the hearts and the minds of the people that is incomparable to anything else in this world. And in schools, music has the power to inspire, to strengthen communities, and make learning fun, alive, and unforgettable. And that is why I have partnered with the Istituto Italiano di Cultura of Miami to create Come Musica, the power of music in education, a project that communicates the strength, the beauty, and the art of Italian music in classrooms all over the United States, starting from Miami. Through concerts, dialogue, and culture, Come Musica shows students how music can shape their growth, inspire through connection, and leave a message that can last a lifetime.
It is awesome. I love it. You know what's the best
so
part?
So many people.
So many people. And the best part is the messages that they send me on Instagram after that. You know, I've been receiving so many messages from so many kids, and I call them kids, but I'm pretty much their age because they're all around 15, 18, and I'm 22. But from these younglings, let's say. And everybody, every message, like they really, because, you know, I have no expectations when I go to these places. But when they tell me, wow, Teo, your music, but also your story touched my heart so much. I'm going through something similar, and this has been like amazing for me. Like it really is such an amazing feeling. So I love it when they write to me directly because to me, it is a direct contact with that connection, and it's all about connection. I strive for connection. That's the most human thing that we can do. It's connect between each other, and music is the best way for me to do it.
So I know you are also planning to bring Come Musica to Mexico.
Oh, yes.
What excited you about this project?
The thing about that excites me the most is that I really don't see any limits to this beautiful project because I find myself realizing that so many people around the world need something like this. And I'm not saying it because I'm the one doing it or creating it. It's just because I see the reaction, and because I would have loved for something to happen like this to happen to my school when I was a kid, you know. And I mean, I've done it in Spain. Now I'm doing it in the United States, and I've tested it out in Mexico before, like 6 years ago when I first did school tours. And my gosh, the people there, they are just so amazing. They're just so giving and so loving, and I feel like more than anybody, they might need it too. And to spread Italian and music with purpose to them, oh, it would be a dream. So we're getting in contact right now with the Italian Institute in Mexico so that we can make it happen there. And I feel like that would be life-changing for me.
That's beautiful.
But I feel like this is a life journey for me. I never want to stop. I like also the day that, I mean, if God willing, I will be touring around the world and hopefully selling out arenas and everything. I will always want to take time for me to do these kind of activities where I can just go to schools and talk, because it makes me feel good, and it makes my heart happy, and I feel like that's something that I want to pursue.
What advice will you give to a young person who dreams of becoming an artist, but it's afraid they won't make it? You know, this field is very hard to get into.
I mean, I am one of those people that I need those advices too, because, you know, sometimes I do wonder, what if I don't make it? What if I don't achieve my dreams? What if my expectations don't end up, you know, becoming my reality? And I feel like that those expectations are actually the thief of joy, because for so long I lived through expectations, and I lived through what I did not have and what I did not achieve, and I was not present at all in that moment, and then I lost everything, and I had to start from scratch, and then I started living in the past and living into those things that I did before, and I was like, why did I not appreciate it as much? And the journey in the past 5 years for me has been to really be conscious about the moment that I'm in right now, and always be conscious of why I started doing music, because, you know, before I was like singing in front of 20,000 people, but I was like, oh, Justin Bieber singing in front of 100,000, or I had 6 million views, but Ed Sheeran had 200 million views, and I kept on comparing myself. And to the kids that, especially nowadays with social media and everything, we're in constant comparison. We compare ourselves constantly to everybody. I want the people to always be conscious of why they started doing what they do. And always do it for the right reason. Do it for the love. Do it because there's nothing that makes you happier. And this is what I try to do every single time, because I could be singing in front of like 150,000 people like I did a few years ago in Mexico, or singing in front of my 3 cats, or singing in front of 50 students in one of these school tours.
Right.
And I feel the same way. I go on that stage and I'm the happiest that I've ever been. And I always try to end the day with like, okay, was this the day worth living? If I were to die tomorrow, was today worth it? And as of now, the past 5 days have been so freaking worth it. And I love this. I mean, this is what I dream of, to travel the world and share music.
Teo, in California, we have such a big Hispanic community.
That's my favorite thing about California.
Okay, can you give a little taste, very quick?
Of course.
About like a Spanish song.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Go ahead.
So to all the amazing Latinos in California and in the world, I mean, y'all are the best people in the world. I love you so much. And my next song is called Cuero Negro, and it goes something like this. ¿Y cómo quieres que te diga si llegaste 20 años después? Te perdiste todo de mi vida y no tuviste ni un minuto para buscarme. Pero todo bien, aunque no se ve tan bien, que cuando cantaba no estabas. Meses sin llamadas, no entendía nada, pero te esperaba y solo recuerdo lo mucho que fumabas y huele a ti. El vacío en cada parte de mi cuerpo, en mi sangre y el maldito cuero negro que me diste, me dejaste y que me viste como a ti. Y huele a ti, la mirada que me encuentro en el espejo, Odio y amo que me veo como mi viejo. Lo primero que me diste fue tu nombre y ahora fue tu abrigo negro y huele a ti.
Can you guys feel that? Everybody's studio.
I love it. What a great crowd. What a great crowd.
Everybody's going to watch it. Woo! Crave always ends with this question. What is your passion? Of course, beside music. What is your passion and what motivates you to keep going every day?
Well, passion is really... Passion to me is who I am. I try to live passionately every single day. And that's what I strive for. That's what I crave every single moment of my life. When I go on stage, I want to be a passionate human being. I want to live passionately. I want to love passionately. And that's everything that I want. And what keeps me going? What's my purpose? To make a difference. Help out, help myself. And as I said, I really go, like, my life revolves around making people feel better. And I say it because there's no better joy for me. When I talk to people, I don't think about my happiness in that moment. To me, engaging in a conversation or making people feel like they're heard and understood and joyful. If I manage to do that, I'm the happiest human in the world. So that's my purpose. And I'm going to fight for that thing every single day. And I'm not going to stop. I'm 22 years old. I've been doing it for 12 years. I got a long life ahead of me. I'm excited.
Beautiful. Before we close, can we have one more song?
Ooh, I would love to. You know what's fun?
As we close.
In these schools, I've been singing in all kinds of grades, from high school to universities, but also elementary schools. And it's been super, super cute. And today especially, I was in a school where I sang my first song that I have ever written. I was 11 years old, and ironically, the first song that I have ever written was about my father as well. And now the next song, after 10 years, after 12 years, is going to be also about my father. And this song is called È diventata primavera. La mia mamma dice che dovrei aspettare prima di parlare. Ed io non so aspettare perché penso che parlare e dire quello che mi pare che non faccia male sia la cosa giusta per poter vedere se qualcuno sa ascoltare. Quello che ho da dire e non restare lì a sentire, quello no, dopo ne parliamo un'altra volta. Perché vorrei che fossi tu che dici d'essere grande e non pensare che sia io a non capire le esigenze. Salirò, salirò, crescerò, crescerò e capirai che se mi parli troverai un contatto dritto dentro l'anima nel cuore mio. Troverai i sogni miei tra le cose che tu dai, perché la somma dell'amore che ha creato la mia vita troverà l'identità di me e di te. Forse a volte dico cose che non dovrei dire, ma se solo tu sapessi un po' di me, scopriresti che io t'assomiglio come un foglio che accarezza l'altra pagina che c'è. Salirò, salirò, crescerò, crescerò e capirai che se mi parli troverai un contatto dritto dentro l'anima nel cuore mio. Troverai i sogni miei tra le cose che tu dai, perché la somma dell'amore che ha creato la mia vita troverà l'identità di me e di te, di me e di te. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to be here.
This season of Crave Italy is brought to you in partnership with the Consulate General of Italy and the Italian Culture Institute of San Francisco. With their support, we celebrate tradition, promote the Italian language, and highlight innovation that connects Italy and America. To learn more and explore upcoming events, visit their official websites.